All right, Jesse, you are up. You're kicking off BC Demo Day.
Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Super excited to be here with everybody today. Excited to see what we can show you inside of Business Central here. All right. So many of you probably don't know who Fraxion is, and that's okay. We're a procure-to-pay software. We've actually been in the Microsoft channel since about the year 2000. So almost 20, going on 25 years next year. So that's a long time to be in the channel. I actually started in the channel in 2001. So I'm aging myself along with this. Fraction itself merged with eRequester, who many people would have known from the old GP and SL days back in 2019, and we took on the name of Fraction. Haven't had a chance to really get our name out there with COVID and everything that happened, so we're excited to be back with you, Amy, and the ISV Society and telling our story to everybody else. Obviously, we're a Microsoft Gold certified partner, been around a long time. And we've got a ton of features and functionality that I think are going to really help people in the purchasing side of the world. So we're a comprehensive all-in-one solution. So we do not just purchasing, but we do the expense management, we do accounts payable automation, and then we do advanced spend analytics. And the nice thing is we work outside of Business Central, so you don't have to be purchasing a bunch of Business Central licenses to be able to use our system. And we can then expand that out to your workforce very easily in a much more economical way. We deal with the purchase requisitions. We do budget and policy control. We create obviously those purchase orders. We take the AP automation and match those invoices up to the purchase orders, up to the receiving. We have a few different pieces of functionality around punch out and catalogs. And we have a full mobile app, which allows us to create an experience on the phone similar to what you're going to see today. Some of the key components for us, though, if you're unfamiliar with Punch Out, we have over 50 plus Punch Out vendors. We also are one of 4 vendors that worked with Amazon to create a new functionality called Punch In, which is new technology, which allows you to really enhance and make your online purchasing experience super efficient with inside of the business. We're embedded with Microsoft Power BI. You're able to do one of the big pieces that we're just releasing now is you're able to submit and approve purchase requests via your Microsoft Teams. And so we want to make sure we're moving our application into the applications you work with on a daily basis. Makes that awesome. And we're all based on the Microsoft Azure platform integrated into Business Central, which gives you the ultimate flexibility. As I mentioned, we have our mobile app, which is available on both Android and iOS, which we can do all those pieces. You can do receiving of goods out in the field, whatever you want to do, approve. But with that, I actually want to get into the system and show you how it works more than anything else. And so oops, here we go. So here I am inside of our Fraxion system. I'm logged in as a general requester. And so I get a dashboard of what I'm doing and what I'm working on. You can see total purchases in this period, what's going on, how many purchase orders I've created versus what I've done last time. I also have an activity timeline that shows me, hey, here's what's going on with your purchase orders or your requests so that you know what's going on. So just really simply, if I want to go in and let's do a purchase request. And so I've already created one today, BC Demo Days. Let's look at it real quick. And super easy. I just need a new surface. Now, if I was to create a new good, I can start here and do that and just say, hey, I need a new good. It'll line it up and say, well, what do you need? You can see here, I can get my tax rates. I do my quantities. I do my general approval, my delivery locations. I've got my department main. These are the dimensions with inside of Business Central. So depending on what you're doing there or your projects, from the job costing component, we can add those fields in there so that you're able to track all your spend against all those pieces very easily. But let's say I want to actually, so I got this new service, but I actually want to shop from our internal catalog. If I was to push the catalog, you'll see the catalog would come up and this is what my people would be able to buy from our internal catalog. So let's say I needed a Chromebook, I could add that if I wanted to, and it would add it over to the demo card. Now, if I want to also, and this is more on what people want to see is from a punch out perspective, if I want to buy, say, from Amazon or any of these other systems you see here, like I said, we have over 50 of them, I can really enhance and automate this experience. So let's say I'm going to Amazon and I want to buy, let's say, a keyboard for this Surface. And this is when, there it goes. I was gonna say, it's gonna slow down on me because I'm in the demo and it always does. But let's say I want to buy a Surface keyboard. You'll see here, it's going to give me a few different results. I'll say, oh, I like this one here. Let's add that one to my cart. So it's going to say added to the cart. I go back to my cart, and instead of it saying purchase, it's going to now say submit these items for approval. And what happens is when I click that button, you'll see that it's now loading up your procurement system. And so we go back in, and you'll see now that keyboard has been added to my system. The approval is still under the general approval. My vendor is Amazon. And when I look at it, all the different information that I needed is all there already done. And so what happens now is when I push submit for approval, it will go directly to the approver. They'll push, when they push approve, it'll automatically send the PO. You can see here I've got two different vendors. It'll send a PO out to Second Gear and a PO out to Amazon electronically. Amazon will fulfill that. They'll send you the item. You'll do receiving on it. They'll send you the invoice electronically, and you'll match all that up and away you go. And so it's that simple. We obviously have expenses that you can do here as well. If you're out and traveling, you capture the receipts on your phone, all those pieces. Now, if I go in, and let's say I'm going to log out here just to show you. Sorry. And now I'm going to log in as an approver. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Department approver. So I come to my dashboard. My dashboard looks very different than my requester. So I can see the number of POs that I've approved, what's going on with those purchase orders. Now, if I go down to an approve here, I can see which pieces need to be improved. But let's look at actually my open POs, because I think this is probably an easier way to do things. So here I have who my request owner is. And I look at, say, let's look at this. This PO has not been received yet, but I can look at it and say, okay, well, here's the PO, here's what was created, here's the chairs and furniture that were on this one. I can see that there is a request specifically on this one, please do not receive this PO, which is fine. But let's say I want to look at that PO. Simple and easy, I can look at it and send it off right there. And the PO is fully customizable based on what you want to see and do. So it gives people a good idea. The other part is I can do receiving against this very simply from this screen and say, okay, well, I asked for this many chairs. How many did I receive? If I back ordered, what I can put that in there. I can actually rate the vendor at this point as to, hey, how good did they do? That way, internally with my system, when I'm looking at ordering for something from another vendor, I can see my vendor rating on them and what happened from them. So that's all good. Now, when I've done this and I've received all this stuff, it's now ready for AP processing because I'm just waiting for my receiving and my invoice to come in. So I'm going to log out of here and I'm going to log in as the AP processor. And this is a part that most people don't realize that we do as Fraxion, and that we actually have automated and have an AP automation solution. And so when I look at my AP automation solution, it's going to say, here's how many invoices I brought in this month. I can give that on a quarterly. It'll show you, hey, how many invoices have you processed? What's the value of them? My activity timeline. But now I'm receiving my invoices, and they come in. Most of them are coming in through email and PDF. We can have you bring in we give you an email address. You simply just have everything go to there. We capture the PDF and then we read it, or you can drag and drop it. But let's look at the payments and see what's out there. These are invoices that have come in, and you'll see that I have ones that we're closing, so they've been approved, but I also have these ones in AI review. And so if I look at this and say, okay, well, let's look at an AI review here of what's going on. And you'll see, so when invoices come in, it's alerted me saying, hey, this is in review for you. This is for you to review. You can see here, should pop up right there. There's my invoice, and I'm able to look at it and see what's going on. You can see here, I've got lots of line items on this. And using the Microsoft Azure platform, we're able to capture not just your header details, but also your line item detail level. Now, you can see here there's some pieces that are missing in terms of data. So, for example, there is no purchase order number on this piece here, but that's okay. If I know it, I can add it there if I want. And then it gives me confidence ratings. So, for example, if I come down here, well, here's my aluminum. I can see it's at 95%. When I highlight it, it'll actually say, well, here it is at 95%. If there was, you can see here, some of them are getting a little lower at 63%. And here's one at 23%. So why is that at 23%? You can see here when I highlight it, the problem is it says 3 spools. Now it's picked up the 3. I can always edit this if I want, but because it said spools, it wasn't sure if I want that or not. So it's highlighted it for me, and so I can make those changes. I've also got messages that tell me, hey, the company name was extracted from the invoice. The first company wasn't in the database. So that's a problem, right? You'll want to add that in. Or no supplier was found. And so it allows you and starts to warn you of issues. And when that's ready to go, you simply create the invoice. It will create it and send it off, and it'll go into your Business Central system at that point, and away you go. Now, from an overall perspective, when it goes in, let me just pop back into here. So when we have and this is just easier to do this way instead of logging into Business Central, but I have my approved, here's what's coming out of our system in terms of Fraxion, and going over, you'll see all the project related departments, if this would be your dimensions or your projects or anything you want to see in there. And then it'll show up in Business Central, and it'll come in as an invoice, and you'll see the invoices here, and you'll see that there's an attachment here because it's bringing in the actual document. And so when you pull that up, the document will be there from what you've processed inside of our system. There's the XYZ Supplies invoice directly from there. And there is the line item detail and the associated GL accounts, which it's brought over from our system. You remember from our integration, we bring over vendors, we bring over dimensions, GL accounts, budgets. And that's one of the key things here is if I was to go back to the system, I just want to show one more piece here. You'll see up here, here's a budget line. And so we're able to show you if there was a budget allocated to this transaction in this vendor, we would be able to show you that. And the reason we do that throughout the system, whether that's on requests or on purchase orders, is we want to put data in the hands of the decision maker at the point of decision so that they can make the best possible decision. And as you can see from the system, we bring best business practices all together so that your clients or you do not have to try and reinvent the wheel in terms of best business practices and put that forward. And with that, I'm actually going to be very quick today. And too far. I'm done with 1:30 to spare today. If you want to get a hold of me, you can scan here. This will get you in our Fraxion system, and that will help you to so you can see a demo, you can request a demo, or you can reach out to us at sales@fraxion.biz. We'd be happy to talk to you about how we can enhance your purchasing process all the way from procure to pay and work with your team on doing that. Now, I did see that there was a hand up earlier or a question.
Ken has a question. Can you assign purchases to projects?
Yes, you can. And I think that's a great point. We're able to add the project codes into our system. So when people are making those purchases, they can assign it to those projects. The other place that we see a lot of this is if you're, for example, in the not-for-profit or government space, we do a lot of work there, and you work with restricted funds. We're able to work with like encumbrance type management or grant management to be able to track all the spend. And that includes not just what you're purchasing, but also your expense capture. We work with a lot of the YMCAs and a lot of different groups like that who have all these facilities out there that they're purchasing or doing expenses for that they need to be able to capture and bring all that together and report on, especially on those restricted funds. So we can do that as well.
All right. Well, thanks, Jesse.
So